Hello, you're watching Studio Ken. Make sure you don't miss any episode of Studio Ken by subscribing to the YouTube channel. To subscribe, search for Studio Ken on YouTube, click subscribe on the bottom right of your screen, and set a reminder. You can also watch Studio Ken on Diamond TV on Wednesday at 18:30 and on Saturday at 19 hours. Studio Ken, the home of Kennedy Mweene on YouTube.
He indisputably lays a claim to the title of Zambia's longest-serving, safest pair of hands. He may have come after some of the country's greatest goalkeepers, such as Ifod Chavala, James Peary, Davis Peary, among others, but he has stood out. In 2012, he won the African Cup of Nations with Zambia, and at club level, he has an array of accolades. His name? Kennedy Mweene. He was first called to the national team in 2003, and the rest, as they say, is history. He is my guest on Studio Ken today.
Hello, this is El Hadji Diouf. Please watching Studio Ken. Please subscribe.
Kennedy Mweene, welcome to Studio Ken.
No, thanks a lot.
You have been with the national team for a number of years, and you are the highest capped player. What has been your secret?
I think it has to go with the way you look after yourself. I've been with the national team since 2004 until recently. So I've been with the national team for so long. I think it's about respecting the game as well. Yeah.
How do you look after yourself?
It's very important when you're a professional football player to invest a lot into your body, because this is what we use also to generate our income. So we have to look after my body. I had to look after my body so much that there's other things you need to sacrifice, and yeah, it comes with a price. But at the end of the day, this is our job at the same time. So there's other things you need to sacrifice and leave them behind.
You are currently sitting on 123 caps for the national team. And just a few weeks ago, we read that you were actually called to the national team. What happened?
Yeah, they did call me, but I was still committed with Sundowns, because if you remember, we were playing a game against Royal AM, and then we were playing Netbank final, and the game against the Ivory Coast was that week. The following week, I think it was on a Wednesday, so I couldn't make it. Seeing also the way, the distance, the traveling also, and also mentally needed to be in a good space, because at the end of the day, it's not about me when you're playing for the national team, it's about the country. So you need to go to the national team when you're cold, when you're physical and emotionally, mentally fit. So for me, I thought I was still committed with the club. There was some matches we were still playing, and there was other issues, and also there's some family issues I needed to sort out. So that's why I said I asked to be excused.
But isn't national duty supposed to be first? Why put the club first?
Look, it was not even a week or two. It was an instant when, like, before they left Zambia, that's when I was called. It wasn't even a week before. So that's why I said I needed to be mentally, emotionally, and physically fit. Because yes, the country comes first, obviously. And I've never turned down the call for the national team. I think I'm one person who has been always advocating for players to put the country first, and for me, I think it's very important that I put things clear that I didn't refuse, but I was committed, and there was other family commitment I needed to come and sort out in Zambia. Yeah.
But there's clearly intent from the current coaching bench that they want you to be part of the national team. Are you available for future call-ups?
I've been available for the national team all along. As long as I'm still playing active football, I think if my country needs my service, I think I'm able to come and help where I can help. But look, I think at the same time, again, we need to look at things the way they are at the moment, because yeah, I'm aging now. I'm 38 this year, so I wouldn't say I'll play for so long at the national team. That's what I can say. There is I won't be able to play for so long, and that's why we need to bring up Otto Star and these other boys to raise their hands, because you know, I feel I'm disappointed that there isn't a lot of goalkeepers who have raised their hand, because that's the problem. That's the position we're struggling with at the moment. But Toaster is here now, and you can see there's improvement. Yeah.
But Toaster will need competition from veterans like yourself. And you are saying that you are 38 this year. You don't have so many years to go.
Yeah, look, that's why I said
goalkeepers can go up to 42.
Yeah,
43.
they can go up to 42, 43. But at the same time, after Kennedy leaves, who's there? So you need to bring up, even if Kennedy is there, there's a lot of young, promising players, goalkeepers who are coming. I just mentioned Toaster, but he needs competition as well. He needs that competition. And listen, when I'm cold there, it's okay to give him the support, to encourage him, and to mentor him as well. Same as these other ones who are coming. But at the end of the day, there mustn't be a gap. And you can see there's a gap. You can see there's a gap. And that's why I said I'm disappointed. I'm very sad that there's this gap for goalkeeping, especially for goalkeeping. There's a very big gap.
Why do you think there's that gap?
We did not prepare properly life after Kennedy and these other ones. That's the only thing. And like I said, well, we need to prepare well, because at the end of the day, these youngsters also, they need guidance from us. So we need to guide them properly, because at the end of the day, this is my country, Zambia, and wherever I am, people, they talk about my country, you know. And when you look at, hey, you're still playing, but why are you not playing for the national team? And you need to even encourage youngsters also, even if when you are there, to help them to learn, to pick up one or two things from you. Yeah.
You say we did not prepare well for life after Kennedy and Kalili Lokakonje. How were we supposed to have prepared for that life?
I think it was very important to identify 3 or 4 goalkeepers on time, so that you know that when Kalili Lokakonje goes off, Kennedy Mweene out, when they retire from the national team, we are able to know that there's these 4, they can carry us. But that's why I say that it's very important. If there's any need to help, this is my country, Zambia, and the national team, I'll receive it with both hands, because I can see, and that's why I said I'm sad to see that we're struggling to get proper goalkeepers in Zambia.
But we had Mangani, Chiwe, Toaster.
They're still there, and when you look at the people you are calling, the names of those people, it's the same age group. And what happens if it's the same age group and then all of them again, they retire again from football? What happens? So you need to have a balance of old, experienced players and the younger ones who are coming, so that if Kennedy goes out, there's Toaster. Toaster goes out, there's Mangani. Mangani is going out, there's other one. It just goes like that. So that's what I meant when I say we didn't prepare well when it comes to goalkeeping after, because it's not good that after Kennedy now we seem to be struggling in that department, and it's not nice. It's not nice.
Let's talk about other positions, especially positions that have been occupied by new players after you guys won the Nations Cup, either retired or you were not considered for the national team. There's you still playing. There's Topila Nsunzu still playing. Renford Kalavanda can name 2, 3 others.
Clifford, he had a good season as well.
Exactly my point. What do you think happened after you people won the Nations Cup, in as far as being called to the national team is concerned?
I don't know, because I don't know. It just happened. And I can't explain or tell you why we were not considered. So that's why I'm saying I don't know.
Do you feel ostracized for winning the Nations Cup? Especially that in Zambia, unpleasant as it is, it has to be said. In our football, there's binary thinking. You are either for that person or that person. There are camps in Zambian football. Have you been affected by those camps?
It has affected Zambian football.
Tell me more.
It's because people, they think you are in this camp, whereas you know yourself that I'm a Zambian. Whoever is in the office, you support that person. At the end of the day, it's not about that person being in the office that you are representing. You are representing the country, not that person. So for me, I think they've been asking me question about this person, are you in this camp? We can't mention name, you know. You're in this camp or in this camp. I said, I'm neither on this camp or this camp. I'm a Zambian. And at any time, go to the national team, I will go and represent my country because I'm not representing this camp or this camp. At the end of the day, it's Zambian people I'm representing. So for me, I think, yeah, you know, you hear these things, whether in social media or people just pass by talking about it. It has affected not only me, but football in general, and which is not good because all of us, we love football in Zambia. And to be honest, it affects everyone, and that's why maybe you see that things are not, they are not the way they're supposed to be. Let me just put it this way.
What do you mean? Because what you are describing is something that even in sports journalism circles, you see or hear.
Yeah.
And put bluntly, you are either to people that are petty, a Kalusha Bolia person, or an Andrew Kamanga person. It appears holding your own opinion is a crime, it's a sin.
That's why it's called an opinion. Your opinion is not wrong. My opinion is not wrong. So that's why it's called an opinion. That's your opinion. You can have your opinion. I cannot say your opinion is wrong. No, that's your opinion. So for me, I think when you have opinions, I think in Zambia, I think people, when you are honest and you're telling them the truth, we don't like it. I know for the fact, I've been in football for long. It's not only in football, anywhere else. People don't like people who are honest. And once you become honest, people will never like you. So I think also we must move on, because at the end of the day, all of us here, we are Zambians. We are Zambians. And we have to represent the country, not an individual. So for me, I think it's something which we have to work on as Zambians, because it's affecting not only us 2012 players, the ones who won the Nations Cup, but every soccer fan in Zambia and other players who are coming in.
You are a former African champion. And after winning the Nations Cup, you flirted here and there with the national team. Tell me the feeling of having won the Nations Cup and then you go 3 times as a country, you don't qualify for the Nations Cup. There are question marks. Everyone wishes Zambia goes to the Nations Cup next year, but there's still a long road.
Look, I think being a champion, especially to win the Nations Cup, it's not a child's play. You sacrifice a lot. You leave your family for long, I think for a month in camp, and then you go for another month in the tournament. So it's not easy, but that's why I was talking in the when I was talking now, I just said, you need to sacrifice, and when you sacrifice and then you get to lift the Nations Cup like that, I think it's worth it. So I think, for me, I think it was a good feeling, but failing to qualify the Nations Cup when we've got 24 teams at the moment, you know. And by the way, I'm in South Africa, and most of the people, when they look at me, only guys like Kennedy, why your national team? You can't even qualify to the Nations Cup. But I always hit them back also, and I say, when did Bafana qualify as well? So, but you know, you have that thing, it hits you here as well. Only when there was 16 teams, Zambia was always qualifying.
What do you think used to be done then that is not being done now, that should be corrected?
I think,
because to your point, when the Nations Cup had 8 teams participating, Zambia was a
Was
regular
Mm.
participator.
If,
16,
we were still there.
24.
No, we're not there. We haven't tested the 24 one.
So the question then is, what is it that used to be done then that is not being done now?
I think we must not put
Without blaming anyone.
Without-
I mean,
let's
talking
not-
as a patriot.
Yeah, I'm talking as a Zambian and as a professional player as well. I think also as players we must take part on it. We must take a blame as players. I think way back, I'm saying we players because way back also, even when I wasn't with the national team, Zambia was qualifying. I think it was the love of, they knew even before what was there at the Nations Cup because they wanted Zambia to be going there. So in short, I'm saying their anger before was high from the players. Even before the coach talks among us players, already you have spoken because you know that when you go that side, that is a tournament where you market yourself as a player. So that's why I'm saying the anger before, I think it was very high compared to nowadays when we started, even us. I think the anger was very high because that's what you market that's where you market yourself. And now I think I have to throw it to players. And when I say players, I'm saying us because I'm still in active football. We are not doing what we have to do.
Why?
It's a difficult question to answer because I haven't been with the national team now for a period of time. And if you had asked me that question way back, I'll be able to answer it. But at the moment...
Let's assume you're living in the past. What is it that we're doing then? So I've taken you right back.
It's because when you come to the national team, it doesn't matter where you're playing. You're playing in Europe, you're playing in Africa. But when you come to the national team, we used to know there is no one who's bigger than the other. We are Zambians, all of us, and we are not representing yourself. You are representing Zambian people. So that had carried us. That's why that team were like this, because we knew it was not about individuals. It was about the country.
But isn't that the reason that when you are called, for instance, because you know what used to happen, you need to take up that call-up? You were called and you didn't come because of family reasons, because you are not psychologically and mentally prepared. So how are these players going to learn from you if you're not there?
That's why I said, I'm open. It came at the time when already I had, yes, the country comes first, but already I had plans, and you must understand, it was like an emergency to be called. And you cannot call a player like an emergency, like you wake up in the morning, hey, come and play for the national team. You must know a national team, it's not a small thing to be called to the national. It's a big thing. And yeah, and then we must not take it lightly. So that's why I said physically, mentally, and emotionally, you must be ready. And look, I think that's why I said I'm open. And look, anytime they call me, it must not be 2 days, 3 days before. It must be, the way the national team, if you know we'll be playing in the next 2 weeks, say it, Kennedy, you're coming to the national team. I'll say, okay, thank you. And then I'll come, because you can see we're lacking experience in that team. We've got very good players, but we are lacking experience. We are lacking discipline. When I talk of discipline in the team, I mean in the pitch, when you are playing. That's what I mean. Not tactically, the coach will tell you what to go and do. But when you go into the pitch as a player now, you're not doing what you were asked to do. That's why I'm saying we don't have discipline in the pitch, because the coach asks you something and you're doing something different. That's what we call indiscipline, because at the end of the day, it can cost the team. That's why I'm saying, yes, they called me, I never came, but there's other games which are coming. And it's easy when you talk, and again, it depends with the kind of players you're dealing with. Are they able to listen when you talk, or they will start thinking, he's just talking because of this and this. No, we have to share. That's the thing. That's the thing. You must be open-minded if you want to learn as well. You have to be open-minded. You have to open your heart as well to collect, because at the end of the day, like I said, I won't be with the national team forever. But the small things which I'm sharing with you, you must take them, because they will work in the future.
You spoke about how the goalkeeping department has suffered for a long time. But at the same time, it's, I think, a reflection of our football. How do you think the transition was handled from the time that Zambia won the Nations Cup compared to now? Do you think the transition was handled properly in terms of still utilizing players won?
No, the transition was not proper. That I can be honest, and the transition was not proper. It wasn't proper. That's the fact. We must not even hit the bushes. That it wasn't, the transition was not proper. That's why when you asked me, Uri, when you said, when after 2012 you were coming here and there, why were you not coming? Why were you not being called even if you were not playing? I said, I don't know. So that's why I'm saying the transition was not proper.
If it were up to you, how would you have handled it?
In terms of what?
Transitioning. It was not proper. So
I think
instead of us sitting here pointing or punching holes into what was supposed to be done or not done, solutions must also be provided.
Yeah.
So what solutions would you have provided, or can you still provide?
It's not late. We can still utilize, because there's a couple of us players who won the Nations Cup who know how, when you go to the tournament, how to play the tournament, how to play away games, and how to play home games. I think it's very important that even as much as when we won the Nations Cup, the transition was not right, and how can I, if it was me? I think, yes, not everyone was still playing football, but those ones who are active, you let them be there, and then when you call them, just be honest. Well, you guys, you are here for experience, for you to mentor these young ones. 4, 5, 6 of us, we are there. But if you are called upon to play, you have to play. But the most important thing, you are here to play. I know that you are not at where you are, but you can give me 60, 70 minutes. Then the other one continues, the other youngsters. But as long as we are in camp, we've got senior players who are able to mentor these youngsters. I think we lost it there. Then that's why we are where we are.
But to be fair to Faz, maybe they may argue against what you're saying, because a former player, national team player like James Chamanga was called and he turned down the invitation.
I think on that, I think, that's why I said as players also, we must be honest to ourselves. I won't talk on behalf of James. I don't know what transpired. I think for me, I think that's why I said, even as players, we must be honest also. I'm not talking about the 2012 ones. I'm talking about the current ones who are playing. We must be honest and open when things comes like that, because again, when you're a professional football player, before someone criticizes you, criticize yourself.
Christopher Katongo was called. He was part of the technical team or committee. There's another effort to include the likes of you, your generation. What's your response to that?
I don't know what happened. I don't see him anymore. I don't know what happened. Okay. I don't see him. Look, I think credit to Faz also. We can be just talk, but we must give credit as well. I think they're trying by all means to bring these 2012 players. But at the same time, I think we think different as players as well. You understand? So I don't know what happened to James. I don't know what happened to Chris. So I can only speak for myself at the moment.
Okay,
yeah.
Fair enough. The one thing that you can also speak for yourself, or maybe even including your friends, is when you won the Nations Cup. In fact, this year is the 10th year from the time that you won.
Yeah.
It came quietly, passed quietly.
Anniversary.
Yes.
I think it came and passed, yeah, but
Was it supposed to come and pass quietly?
not really. Not really, but I think there's we've got our representative, which are former players also who are busy with it, and I think yeah, it has come and passed, but there's other things which are in place, and it would be unfair for me to comment about that because they are busy with it.
Which brings me to the next question. You people, or some of your friends, have said that you were never paid,
Including myself.
including yourself. Thank you for reminding reminding me that you were never paid your dues for winning the Nations Cup.
I think I'll answer that diplomatically. I cannot comment on that because after it came out, when we spoke about it, I think it brought a lot of, how can I put it? Brought a lot of, people started to talk a lot, and there's people again who are busy with that, and yeah, I think they're handling it well. And
Were you promised houses by the government?
I heard so.
But you were there. Were you promised houses by the government when you came back?
If I'm correct, it's way back, and I think we were not promised. We were told they will look into it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough of that. How do you rate Zambia's chances of qualifying for the Nations Cup next year?
Let me start first by saying this. When you look at our national team now, I'm saying now, we are going back to what we just spoke. When you look the age group, it's all of them the same. And if you heard Mweene, what he said we've got good players, we've got talented players, but we are lacking what? Experience. And experience comes by you coming to the national team every now and then and playing at your club. But at the national team level, there's no time to experiment because the coach has got only 7 days to play a match, to plan also for a match. So for me, I think when you look at the age group, it's almost the same. It's almost the same, and it's very difficult. We can say whatever we want to say here, but if we don't say the truth, then we'll be lying to ourselves. To be honest, yes, we've got very talented players, but the age group, it's the same. And you know maybe what I mean, or maybe someone who's listening, they know the age group. When you are, all of you, you are the same age. One, this is football. There's petty things which is going to be there. And they are still young, most of them. They don't know, most of them. That's why you need senior players to be there, because the respect, in terms of respect with each other, it won't be there, because of, they feel like, you cannot tell me that, hey, you cannot tell me that. If you watched the game yesterday, it will tell you what I'm saying now. If you see the captain, Mweene, and Emmanuel Banda, they almost fought.
Is that so?
Yesterday.
Oh.
Yeah. So it's good to have that, to have a balance of old senior player, not too old, I'm not saying too old, but to have a balance. Because if it's like this,
I didn't take that notice.
No, I was there. I was there at the stadium. That's why I'm saying.
Did that happen during or
during the game? There was the ball which Emmanuel Mweene was talking, and then Emmanuel passed Mweene. Mweene didn't see the ball, and then it almost resulted to a goal.
Okay.
So that's where it happens. If I'm gonna give you this lame example, you must check even at home when your kids are leaving each other with a year. You see that what happens most of it, they argue too much. So it's normal. But that's where, when you have maybe someone who's 27, 25, there's 22, 23, 19, yes, but there's someone who's 27, 30. They are able to look at that person, and that person, when he looks, they say, no, this is not how you're supposed to behave. There is no one in that group. Because fashion, Patson, Shebi Maembe, who else? Edward.
Chelofi.
And all of them, these ones are from the under 20, the ones who won. So they've been together for so long. And they know each other. But also because of the age, where the age group, where they are, always there will be friction. So there must be, like I said, there need to be, there is a need of being an experienced players in that.
Thank you. How do you rate Zambia's chances of qualifying for the Nations Cup next year?
I want
Zambia
to be at the Nations Cup. I want Zambia to be at the Nations Cup. But like I said, we need to improve a lot.
Do you think we will qualify?
Do we have the anger as players first to go to the tournament before everyone else? That's the question we need to ask ourselves as players. Do we have the anger to go to the Nations Cup? Because it's a very good tournament. It's not always nice to be there. But do we have that anger to go that side as players first? I rate, at the moment it's 50-50. We've played only 2 games. We've lost 1, we've won 1. And I hear people, they're talking about Lesotho, when we beat Lesotho home and away. That's a difficult game. That's a difficult game. Because you must understand, Lesotho is from the southern part of Zambia, of Africa. And Lesotho is always at the COSAFA. So don't be surprised, because they know how Zambia plays. So it's a tricky one. But I would love to see Zambia at the Nations Cup. And I want Zambia to be at the Nations, because it's too much. It's too much to watch other countries. The last time there was Malawi, Comoros, Mauritania. Zambia, where is Zambia? There is no Zambia. No. We need to qualify. By hook or crook this time, we have to go. And but having said that, there is a lot of things we need to improve as players in the team which is there now. There must be a lot of improvement, because like I said, discipline wise, in terms of the inside the pitch, nope. Experience wise, we don't have experience.
In terms of administration,
I think they are doing their part. They are making every possible. The team was camped in West Africa. They're doing what they could. They can to see that the team also qualified in the Nations Cup. That's why I said it's up to us players now. If they can do so much, are they the ones playing? No. We are the one playing. And how much do you want? We want it, us as players. We must ask ourselves that question as players. How much do we need it? How much do we want ourselves to see ourselves at the Nations Cup? They can do whatever. First can do whatever they want. They camp you for a month. They camp you where. But at the end of the day, it's us who play players. Do we really want to be that side? Yeah.
Kennedy, lastly, you are currently sitting on a 3-year contract at Sundowns. You won the Nations Cup.
Yeah.
How many more years have you given yourself, and how would you like Zambia to remember you?
I think for me, I still have 3 years with Sundowns. So I'll be with Sundowns.
And you claim you are 41, I don't know, 38. I don't know if that's a football age.
Look, football will kick you out if you are 40, but you are saying you are 31.
I should have asked for a birth certificate.
No problem. I can give it to you anytime.
Original?
No, it's not original because it was way back. If you know typewriter.
About 50 years ago.
38 years ago. It was with a typewriter. You're never going to get it, a new birth certificate. Now, mine, I never cut. That's why I'm still in football. So for me, I think, look, I still have a couple of years to play football. Like I said, I invest a lot in my body, because I know this is what my body has made me who I am today. That's why I look after my body so much. And how do I want Zambian people to remember me? I think it's something which is to continue doing what I love, which is playing football. And when time comes for me to say then I think I've done so much for Zambia in terms of football wise. And for me, I think the most important thing and the most memorable time was 2012. I think we have done what we could to bring glory to the nation, and I think no one will forget that. No one will forget that, and yeah, that's how they'll always remember me.
Thank you once more, Kennedy.
Thank you so much.
Hello, this is El Hadji Diouf. Please watching Studio Ken. Please subscribe.